morning, Marco Island. This is the Good Morning Marco podcast, Marco Island's first, best, and only podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Sullivan, and this week, Jordan had a prior engagement, so she's not here with us today, but we will see her back very soon. But we have a very special guest today.
Kid Saturn.
Kid Saturn. You could also give your real name.
Real name, my government name. My name is Andrew Myers.
Government name is crazy. So we're here to talk to Andrew, otherwise known as Kid Saturn, today about his new album that should be coming out the very same week that this podcast episode comes out.
Yes, sir.
So, would you like me to call you Kid Saturn during this?
You can call me
Andrew.
Yeah, that
because
works.
I have called you Andrew for as long as I've known you. So, Andrew, go ahead and give us a little bit of elevator pitch of who you are and what you're here to talk about.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So my name is Andrew Myers. I grew up in Marco Island. I went to school on the island. I've been making music since I was 12, since 2017.
Wow.
So, I've had a lot of ups and downs in the journey, but, it's been a lot of fun. Been dropping solo projects since 2019, and just kind of building up my confidence when it comes to music and all that. I loved growing up on here, growing up on Marco Island. I met a lot of great people that I make music with. James PM, Juliet,
out, of course.
Sean Island, all of those names. So we kind of have a support group with each other, and I think that it's just fantastic. Growing up here, didn't know a lot of people. I moved here in 2009. I used to live in South Dakota, actually, in the middle of nowhere. But, I didn't have a bunch of friends growing up, and especially none that made music. So being able to go to MIA and meeting people there that had the same passion and interest, that was just the best thing for me at the time.
Great. All right. We're going to get even deeper into growing up on Marco and a little bit about the local music scene and about Andrew's upcoming project. But first, we're going to get into our sponsor for this episode. Wonderful. Thank you so much to all of our wonderful sponsors that help make Good Morning Marco possible. Andrew, again, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
And I apologize how long it took us to actually get this together, because we've been talking about doing this episode for so long. But tell me a little bit, your album that should probably be up by the time the vast majority of people are watching this. If not, it's coming out in the coming days.
Yes, sir.
925.
925.
Immediately when I heard the name 925, I sort of assumed that's an area code. What does 925 actually mean?
Well, you probably wouldn't assume that about me, but I'm a huge
It's fine. We can wait a second for that. That's one of the joys of doing an outdoor podcast. All right, what would we not assume about you, about looking at you?
So you wouldn't assume it about me by looking at me, but I'm a huge history buff, and I love collecting coins, actually. Okay. So I started with my grandfather. He was he is a big nerd when it comes to all that. So he got me a bunch of peace dollars, Morgan dollars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I really like silver. And 925 is actually the purity of sterling silver, 92.5.
Oh, okay. Wait, say 925 on my...
Oh, no. Look at that.
Yeah, okay. It says 925 on the back of,
there you go. You
back of my necklace. So, okay, I should have known that. Keon should have told me that at some point. Oh, I have some Kid Saturn merch on me then. That's actually really funny. That's if you're wearing silver, you're already a fan.
Exactly.
So you might as well go and listen to it.
Check all your necklaces. Check all your rings. You might be wearing
Saturn's
Saturn
rings,
merch,
if you will.
Saturn. Oh, there you go. I like that.
That's was I the first person to say that, or?
I think so. I think
cool. All right, I'm glad. So what is 925 about?
Well, it's kind of, obviously the silver, but it ties in deeper. Obviously, when you look at, oh my God, my hair's going crazy.
I know, right? I think it's a little worse for me right now.
When you look at that surface value, it's not perfectly pure. You know what I mean? And I think that goes for myself. I'm not a pure human by any means, and none of us are, you know. So we all have our flaws, but it's about being confident and remaining who you are. So this was kind of a step back for me. I took over a year to make this album.
Oh, wow.
So, I wanted to pour my heart into it, and, it's not perfect. There's some little flaws here and there, but, it's 9 to 5 at the end of the day.
I like that a lot. That's very, so if you were, for anyone listening who's unfamiliar with you, what sort of genre of music do you make?
Well, it's mostly hip hop, rap, trap. Honestly, I always say this, but Kid Saturn is almost a separate entity to me. I listen to a lot of Michael Jackson, a lot of 70s rock, what I mean? I obviously rap too, but I just started off in the beginning making music to listen to myself.
Right.
And the fans were kind of an afterthought, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I just wanted to make music that I could just ride around and blast in my car full volume.
There you go.
And that kind of started it all, you know, and...
So you said that you've been making music since you were 12.
Yes, sir.
So were you producing that music on your own, like in GarageBand or like FL Studio when you were a kid? How did that get started?
So there was this app back in the day. It was called Rap Chat.
Oh dang! I thought you were going to say Auto Rap by Shmuel.
Oh, that was really early.
That was before the beginning. Right?
Yes, absolutely. So not sponsored, by the way. So they had a bunch of beats to pick out, and you had a one take over all these beats. And I bought these big headphones at the Dollar General.
There you go.
First opened up over there. And they had this tiny mic, and I would record my music on that mic. And obviously it's really crappy quality.
Right.
But that got it all started. And
there you go.
Then I, kind of evolved. I started using GarageBand. I didn't know what a key was at the time.
Yeah. So everything was in C44.
Exactly. Yeah.
C44, 120 beats per minute.
Yeah, exactly. So it took a lot of years to learn, but I'm so happy that I took that time to do it. Very
cool. So when would you say that you officially started getting serious about music?
I'd say honestly when I met James, James PM, he had a studio at the time. I know you remember it. He had everybody and Marco coming over. On that one album, 18, he had, literally everybody from our school making a song with him.
Shout out to 18, the High School Chronicles, including teachers.
Yes,
there are several teachers, former teachers, now as well, from MIA. Yeah. One of which who should be appearing on the podcast very soon.
Ooh.
Little tease from Mr. Eater being on the podcast.
I'm so excited to watch that episode. I love Mr. Eater, man. But anyway, he told me to come by the studio and record a song, and that started it all.
What was your first song that you made with James?
Mosh Pit.
Mosh Pit, okay.
Mosh Pit. And
I remember because I had known that you were making music beforehand.
Yes.
And then James came to me and told me who was featuring on Mosh Pit. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me listen. And I was like, I like your part. I like Andrew's part. It's like, I think that this is actually pretty dang good.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And it just started going from there. I would, we kind of became friends. We knew of each other, but really didn't interact that much. But yeah, then we started making, I solo recorded Broken Hearts in a Wine Glass, and that was on SoundCloud. That was on all, platforms. But that really started the passion for it, because I'm like, actually hearing myself in good quality for once, not on a
it really changes. You can see the vision and see where you can improve once you get the quality up.
No,
and
absolutely.
It becomes something far more than just, I'm just messing around.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I started taking it a lot more serious, and now we're here. I mean, I think me and James probably have 200 plus songs together. I mean, it's insane how far both of us have come. I mean, he's improved vastly. as well.
Dude, I'm just comparing 18, which was already, at the time, it was peak.
Yes, absolutely.
Before that, you've got, like, us making diss tracks on each other when we were in, like, our sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of those.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing started because I didn't want to go hang out with James and Keaton because I had to clean my room. So then they wrote a diss track on me. And that was like the first of the songs that begun this like Marco Island renaissance with the local music scene.
That's great.
And then it wasn't long after that before James started recording with Paco, recording with Julian, recording with Sean, recording with Johnny.
Rest in peace.
And it was an incredible time to be around. So that probably would have all started when you actually around the same time that you first started making music.
Yeah.
So you kind of came into a thing that was semi established, as much as you could call something established when you're in high school. What was your first? It's your first album, Saturn's Rings.
Yeah. My first album was, well, I'm not counting the SoundCloud EPs and all that. First solo album was The Abyss. Or no, sorry. The first solo album was Elysium, and that was 2023.
Okay.
I believe, and then Saturn's Ring was like right after that.
About how many how many people have listened to your music? Do you know? How many like monthly listeners do you have?
Right now it's been down just because I haven't released anything since like May or June. So at one point it was over 1,000, and that was such a good feeling. But you know, any listener counts for me, you know. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 1 million, you know. If someone's enjoying my music besides myself, that's really what matters to me. Right.
So what else do you have coming in the future?
There's definitely a lot of plans for the rest of this year. You know, we're still in March. I definitely think there's something gonna drop by October, and you know, probably a full-length album.
Very cool.
I'm excited for that.
Is 925 an EP then, or is it?
No, it's a full-length album. Yeah, 21 tracks. I wanted to do that because I just turned 21 last month. So
there you go. It's a slight trend with people releasing music on or near their birthday.
Yes, absolutely. You need an anthem to go into the new year.
Of course, absolutely. What would you say your biggest joy that you get out of music is?
Honestly, I think, you know, either FaceTiming Sean or James and getting their reaction. And when they say it's good, I'm like, okay, I can breathe deep. I'm fine. I haven't lost it yet. So, also, honestly, just playing it for new people and getting their honest reactions. You know, I always tell them be brutally honest.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes I'll get, you know, I don't like this. And that's fine. You know, it's not for everybody. That's for sure. But when those people, you know, say good things about it, I love that.
Has there ever been a moment in your music career that you would say that you ever got close to thinking about quitting?
Yeah, honestly, not too long ago, probably end of last year, I was really thinking about pulling the plug on it. It's kind of been for like a 4-month stretch, and I'm still in it. Just kind of a lack of creativity. And I don't really know what's causing that. But, you know, it's important not to give up and just keep going. But yeah, I've had those moments, even before, you know, this one, where like, I'm just not good enough, or like, you know, self-doubt.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that just about anyone in any sort of creative field has. And it's like, it would be great if there was a way to more easily obtain the inspiration, where if it was just like a switch that you could turn on, because sometimes it just hits. And it's just like, for example, when I wrote my book, I sat down at the beginning of last year, and I was like, I'm going to write a story and I sat down. I wrote it in 3 weeks, and it was published by week 4.
That's crazy, man.
So now it's not. It's 42 pages long, so it's not anything to turn your nose at, but it is not like a novel. It's a novella.
Right.
So I think it's just around 30,000 words. So I have attempted to sit down to write either the sequel or a completely separate book about 5 or 6 times this last year. And it's just like, I think I just figured out how to catch lightning in a bottle last time, and I opened the lid, and I don't know where it went. It's just like, so I can fully understand that about the motivation. What was your motivation behind creating this album? Where did you get the inspiration for this one?
I started working on it right around the time I really got into coins. Actually, I sound like a nerd talking about it, but I love it, man. I love history and all that.
The whole thing about this podcast is talking about people that are passionate about something.
Yes.
And if your passion is coins, we want to hear about that.
Absolutely.
So
I went up to South Dakota this summer, and that's really when it started. I grew up in a really small town called Spearfish, South Dakota, and that's
when did you move here from South Dakota?
2009. So
Okay.
right when all the economy crashed.
Yeah.
My parents were fortunate enough to get a house down here. So,
Yeah.
we went from negative 40-degree weather to Florida sunshine.
There you go.
So, we went up there this summer, and there was a local coin dealer in the town. And, I mean, compared to Florida, his prices were so good. And so I bought so much stuff, coins, old currency. I bought this really cool $20 bill from 1914.
Oh, wow.
Has Grover Cleveland on it. So
No.
Andrew Jackson. So, just stuff like that. And that really kind of fueled the passion I already had. And so I got back, and that's when I started really working on this album. And that's what started it all. And I wanted to give credit to, history.
Yeah.
And by naming it 925.
That's very cool.
Yeah, man.
Let's see what time we're working on here. Okay, we've been going for about 15 minutes. What was it like coming to Marco Island?
It was scary at first. I was homeschooled growing up before high school. I don't know if you knew that or
I did not know that. Wait, was freshman year your first?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I know a lot of homeschooled people,
Yeah.
and you're the second type of homeschooled person where you can't tell.
I appreciate that.
It's either the most obvious thing in the world because they all act exactly the same, and most people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Or it's well adjusted.
Yeah. Well masked, well blended in.
Yeah.
No, trust me. Growing up with other homeschoolers, there's definitely it's two sides of the spectrum. So no, I get that. But growing up here, but being homeschooled, that was almost isolating because at the time there wasn't a whole lot of kids in my neighborhood where I was at. I lived on Watson Road, if you know where that is.
That's down in the Estates,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty close to Indian Hill.
Yes. So there's only rich older people over on that side of the island, from what I know.
Yeah.
But where else on the island do you not have that?
Exactly. Yeah. But I started to adjust to it, adjust to life here. I mean, I had such a great childhood growing up here, and I'm so glad I did. When I was younger, I always, was like, I want to move out of Florida. I hate Florida.
Right.
And just growing up and maturing just made me realize, like,
how good we have it here.
Right. We take it for granted. One of my friends, he's in Philadelphia right now. One day it was 80, and the next day he was having a blizzard.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I couldn't do that, man.
I think that it's a big part of growing up here is that phase of I hate it here. I'm gonna leave. Because the part of it is that we don't know as much of what else is out there.
Right.
Because, I mean, this place is fairly isolated. Now, I don't think anywhere is truly isolated with the internet being a thing, but it's like, you sort of want to rebel against, like, your parents love this place, so you don't need to love it too. But
Right.
then once you mature and you realize, it's like, oh wow, it's like there is nowhere like Marco Island in the rest of the world. Like it's except maybe Sanibel.
Yeah.
But it's still so completely different.
Yeah.
And it's just like for like 4 months out of the year the weather is perfect, but then the rest of the time it's, I don't know. I days like today make me remember how much I love this place.
Yes.
And I was sort of in the I'm rebelling against the idea of Marco Island probably about a year before I started this podcast. Before Jordan and I started this podcast, I was like, I could go anywhere else and it'd be so much cheaper to live there, and it would not be boiling in the summer with constant humidity. But it's just like we can go to the beach anytime we want. There is a tight-knit community here, and also there's new people all the time because we have so many tourists in that. But
no, you can meet a lot of cool people here, you know, for it being so small, and it's almost like a family here.
What do you think your favorite part of Marco Island is?
I used to love to go to Tiger Tail Beach. That was my favorite beach, you know, wading through the little, sandbar they call it or whatever?
It's the lagoon.
The lagoon.
To get to the sandbar.
So, I love that.
I've been going kayaking at Tiger Tail recently. I've found it's so nice because I just take the kayak right off my car, and then I just drag it across the boardwalk and then straight into the water. And then I did it near sunset last week, and there's this moment where you can't tell the sandbar from the water. So it looked like there were people walking on the horizon.
That's crazy.
And like near sunset, and it felt like I was in Lion King or something. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
But, sorry, as you were.
You know, Tiger Tail. I grew up in Mackle Park. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I love that place. Every time I drive by it or go in there, it's so nostalgic. You know, it brings back so many memories, and you know, I'm thankful that they went all out with that park. You know, the big lake, the basketball courts. You know, not too recently, but after, you know, I stopped going there more, they got the inside like game room set up, and it's really cool. And also we're planting more trees there all the time too. Just this past year we planted I want to say 25 trees all around the lake there. Wow, that's fantastic.
And I think we're working on the beautification committee is working together with the parks committee to get even more trees in Mackle, so it's going to be jungle over there.
That's great. No, that's awesome.
So before we continue, like really talking about Marco or getting into rapid fire questions, anything else that you want to say about music?
You know, I'd really, this is more of a personal thing, but like I said earlier, I think Kid Saturn's it's almost like a cartoon character. You know, like, you know, I talk about a lot of, you know, things in my music that, you know, I don't do as Andrew Myers, you know what I mean? You know, for me, music is a hobby. You know, I'm not banking on it to take me anywhere. You know, I do it for fun. I do it for, you know, people that listen. But that's not my calling. You know what I mean? I'm going to school right now for psychology, and I'll get my master's in mental health counseling.
Wow.
And that's what I want to do, you know.
Cool.
So I want to help people out. Cool. You know, it's such a opposite thing.
Well, because the nature of like rap and hip hop is it is inherently braggadocious.
Yes.
Like it's just the medium. The medium is built in a way that you got to talk about yourself and you got to lift it up, and it's all about I'm better because of this.
Right. Exactly.
It's just the way that the genre is, and I don't think in the same way where song lyrics are not admissible in court.
Yeah.
I think that it's ignorant for people to apply the same. I guess whatever the intent given by the song, you don't necessarily know that is the actual lifestyle. So
Right.
That would be an ignorant. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that there aren't people who don't do it. Like, I know whatever Snoop Dogg's saying, he lived the life. He knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
But and then that is really interesting about it being like almost the. I didn't think that sound would come out of that car.
No. What is that, Ford Focus?
Yeah, that's crazy. But working in mental health is like, I guess sometimes there is a self-esteem level that is very important, but that is very cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I cut you off as well, but
No, you're all good. Yeah, no.
Rambling at this point.
Yeah, I just, I really want to help people out because, I went through a lot of stuff, health problems, family stuff. So, I know what it's like to have a weight on your shoulder. And if I can take that weight off somebody's shoulders, then that's so worth it to me.
That's the whole idea. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get into a little bit of rapid fire questions. Play those things.
Rapid fire questions.
Yeah, rapid fire questions. All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Black. Oh, perfect. Good man. Good man.
Sir.
Now, was that because... Did you always like black coffee, or is it more of a recent thing for you?
No, I've always liked black coffee. I used to... I did go to Starbucks a lot. I used to get my caramel frappuccino. But recently, it's more black coffee.
What's your favorite place to get coffee around here?
I really don't get coffee anymore. I don't go out for coffee. I have a little Keurig, yes. And I make my own coffee. And
there you go. I have started to switch to trying to do more coffee at home because I was spending too much money.
It's so expensive.
So now that is being all given to gas money. $3.95 a gallon.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that, because then I'd be violating rules of the podcast.
Yeah. We won't get into that.
Yeah. So, beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Mountains. All right. Now, did you ever live in Asheville, or do you just visit for a significant portion of the time?
Yeah, I visited twice up there.
How long were you up there when?
I went, both times were for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So.
In my head, it just seemed like you were up there for so much longer.
Yeah. No, I was planning on moving up with them, but I had some health problems at the time that just didn't let me, allow me to do that. So, but that's all right. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, and then
meant to be here.
Not having to directly deal with Hurricane Helene.
Yes.
That was
oh my goodness. Yeah.
A blessing as well.
Yeah, that was so tragic.
Yeah.
And I'm glad both of my friends that lived, all three of my friends that lived up there are okay.
Fine, yeah. So, let's see. This is usually where I start to forget what the rapid fire questions are. All right. If you could sit down, have lunch with any historical figure, current living person, it's anyone from past, present, future, just person of note, who would it be and why?
Okay, that's a great question, actually.
It's one of my favorites.
I'm going to give two answers.
Okay,
one based off hip-hop and one based off history.
There you go.
So I'd go Eminem.
Okay.
For hip-hop.
Of course, yeah.
That's what I grew up on. Him and Tupac and everybody else in that era, sorry. And then as far as historical figures go, I think dang, that is a great question. Probably George Washington.
George Washington. I was immediately thinking in my head you were going to say George Washington. But
I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if you've ever seen Shane Gillis's stand-up book about
of
George
course.
Washington. And, it just paints him as a whole different person.
Well, yeah. I mean, George Washington, if he was born like 400 years earlier, he would have been a berserker in like a Viking like war. And he would be one of the most decorated. He is one of the most decorated generals of all time.
Yeah.
But Shane Gillis needs to bring back Drunk History.
Yes.
That would be those episodes of that podcast where Shane Gillis and Louis C.K. are talking about every single president is some of my favorite content on the
Absolutely.
internet. It's one of my favorite things. Shout out to those like 4 episodes. I don't think it's the Matt and Shane Secret Show. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely Shane Gillis and Louis C.K. and it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
If I was ever going to cast someone to play George Washington in a movie, it would be Wesley.
Wesley, I can see that. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, we need to get someone get on that.
Yeah, we need to get on that right away. Because also, I believe that George Washington, if you don't include the powdered wig, would have been our only redheaded president.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that, because 6'2" was tall for the time. Mm-hmm. You know, redheaded 6'2" guy charging at you.
Yeah, it was terrifying. It's just like, hey, no, we're going to attack on Christmas. It's like, they would never attack on Christmas. It's great. What is your favorite restaurant on Marco?
I used to love margaritas. I love Mexican food, so I would go in there all the time. Marco Prime, you know, very pricey, but
I actually still have not eaten at Marco.
Really,
Prime.
it's worth it. You get a filet, and
there you go.
That's perfect.
Let's see. Favorite concert you've ever been to?
Fun fact: I've never been to a concert.
You've never been to a concert? Well, you gotta go.
I know. I do gotta go. I attended the Travis Scott Fortnite event though.
Okay.
That counts. So I'll have to use that one.
That was during the pandemic, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I think virtual events count from March 2020 to like January 2021. Yeah. I think that counts.
Yeah.
In there, it counts. But if it was outside of that very specific time in world history, a virtual event I don't think counts. So yeah. I think you got it.
Yeah. Travis Scott.
The Travis Scott Fortnite concert. Well, I was going to say at least no one died at that one. But yeah. I guess they did because it was no Fortnite.
Yeah.
Anyway. Usually I would probably just ask one, but since this is a music-centric episode, I just realized you were actually the second rapper that we've had on this podcast.
Who was the first?
The pastor of Faith Church, Heath Jarvis.
Oh,
because
wow.
He's actually going a little bit viral right now. He posted an Instagram reel yesterday of where he did a rap during the song Jehovah during Sunday service last week, and it has over 100,000 views on Instagram right now. And we keep getting updates about it in the work group chat. It's very funny.
That is awesome.
So, what are your top 3 albums of all time?
I'd say, that's a great question. I'd say the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. I listen to that on repeat for my whole childhood. Mm-hmm. I'd say Love Is...
Oh, well, a bird landed on the camera. This is the first time that has ever happened. That is very funny.
That is awesome.
Dang, I was going to pull out my phone and take a photo of that. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so Marshall Mathers LP, I'll say Love Is Rage 2 by Lil Uzi Vert. That was huge. I was going through there was that sad rap phase with X.
Yeah.
Juice WRLD was a little later, but like Lil Peep. And so
I still see your shadows in my room.
So yeah, that was like a sad boy album. I was fake sad at the time, kind of blending in. So that's a timeless album for me. And then I might have to throw in another Eminem album. I'd say the Eminem Show. So
what songs are on that one? Because I'm not as familiar with.
That's like Superman, Without Me.
Okay, got it.
So 2002.
Okay. Would Eminem be your favorite artist of all time? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I kind of go back and forth. Once every while. I'd say Eminem.
Who else are in your top?
Eminem and Lil Uzi. That's tied for top one because Eminem was like introduced me to like rapping and rhyming, and
Right.
then Lil Uzi introduced me to like melodies and flows, and you know, not worrying about you know, lyrics as much and worrying about the energy. I used to write everything. I don't write anymore. I just go in, you know, and whatever I'm feeling that day is what comes out. And I learned that it's really funny because I used to be really invested in the leak community, like leaked songs.
Okay, yeah.
So there was a bunch of studio sessions that leaked, and they were just raw vocals, you know, him doing takes over and over. And I would listen to those on loop and kind of figure out how he came up with his ideas and his melodies. Right. And yeah, I owe it all to Lil Uzi.
Well, there you go. Let's see. That distracted me for a second.
You're good. We got a lot of car noises too.
I know. It's been, well, this is the joys of doing a podcast outside.
Yeah.
What is something that someone who's never made a song before wouldn't expect about making music?
It's, you know, a lot of people say it's hard, but I think if you have the right motivation, and you know the bare minimum going in, you know, how to rhyme, how to flow, you know, a little bit, you'll be fine. And it just takes repetition, because, you know, my first song sucks. I'll have to show you it at some point. It's so bad. You know, it's called I Don't Give a Damn. And it's just me saying that over and over and over.
There you go.
So, I was rebellious at that age. So,
you should remake it and call it I Don't Give a Heck.
I don't give a heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A freaking heck. A dang, if you will.
I don't give a flip, man.
Yeah. What is your favorite song you've ever made?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I'd have to give you like a top three.
Okay.
I think top one right now for me at the moment, the intro to this upcoming album.
It's called 925.
Can't Land, and it's super ethereal and, you know, very spacious, and I can't believe I made it. Honestly, that's, you know, I've had that and just over and over and over, and it just doesn't get old to me. I'd say the second is the intro to my last album, The Abyss. It's called In the Darkness, and that's not really rap. That's more of like super alternative. It's almost like rock mixed with rap, but I love the energy. You know, the vocals and the mix aren't good as of today's standards, but when I dropped it, man, that was awesome.
It's almost like some of these can't be compared to each other, because like at its time, Beast Mode.
Yeah.
You remember
Yes.
Beast Mode? Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.
Beast. I'm the one saying beast on that.
Is
by
that
the way.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, I had a verse on that at the very beginning.
I'll have to ask James.
It's not good.
It's not good. That's all right.
Now, here's the thing. James said for a while that it didn't exist anymore. I think that was just because I was so certain that it was good, and he just did not have the heart to tell me that he was not putting it on his album.
Great.
That I was just completely removed. But this stinging I'm king of the bees is an all-time Teaker line. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, at the time, like that and like playing with knives,
Right.
were like, oh my goodness, this is so peak. Nothing could top this.
Yes.
And then comparing those songs to like The Abyss, or like James's album Hydrangea. It's like apples to oranges. Yeah, they're both fruit, but it's completely different style.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And I think each work of art, you know, each project really, like I look back and every song I listen to reminds me of like what I was going through at the time, and you know, and why I made this song at this certain time.
Right.
And I don't know, it's really cool because it's almost like a scrapbook. Yeah. And you get to look back in time.
Very cool.
And just compare how much you've improved, and you know.
Is there anything else that you want to say about music before we start to wrap up today's episode?
Just, you know, March 27th, you know, get Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, whatever you listen on, get that ready. Kid Saturn, 925.
Look, I know you just kind of did that, but look in that camera and tell everyone where they can find you on like socials and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at kidsaturn.wave, .wav. That's really the only social I have, honestly. So, there you go. I don't use TikTok or nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to find more of what I'm doing, you can go to www.ryanmsullivan.com. I've got all info on anything upcoming there, as well as you can follow me directly on Instagram at Ryan.Sullivan2002, or I believe it's actually RyanSullivan.2002. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. You can also find it through the website. To find more about Good Morning Marco, you could go to goodmorningmarco.com, or also to go to Jordan's content creation business. She is extraordinarily busy as is, but she does very good content, so you ought to go to currentcreationsfl.com. She also has a Instagram handle that I believe is the same name. All those links to all those things, as well as all of Andrew's stuff, is going to be in the description. So again, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ryan. I really appreciate it, man.
100%. So any final closing arguments before we end today?
Everybody listening in Marco, I hope you have a great rest of your year, and I appreciate you listening to me and my story. So thank you guys very much.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, thank you so much for watching as well. And Andrew, again, thank you for joining us. And that is all for today's episode of Good Morning Marco. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the most, and we will see you all in the next one.